Yeah. Hey, what's going on, you guys? What's up? This is Guru the Ghost. Thank you all for listening. And today I'm gonna do a live stream with infamous rifle. I think a couple of weeks ago I said to you guys like I am not gonna do live streams for a long time. I'm gonna focus on videos, but yeah, I like spontaneously, and actually I was in infamous rifle. I was in the chat box. Yeah. A half hour ago, and I was like, we never talked to each other actually, but let's do a live stream right now. And Infamous Rifle, he was about, yeah, cool, man. So, Infamous Rifle, yeah, thanks for your time, man. How are you? How are you?
Hey man, thanks for having me. Good to be here. I'm doing pretty good, and I think it's really interesting uh, that we know a lot of the same people, but yet you and I have never had a chat.
Yeah, because like I saw you on Tico Trends channel. I
Hmm.
saw you on Reverend 20 Pieces channel. I also know those guys. I also did a couple of live streams with them. But yeah, funny thing, we never talk to each other. But when it comes to our channels, like I think you have about 90 videos and about 320 subs. Me myself, I also have about I think 85 videos and 310 subs. So when it comes to our videos and our amount of subs, yeah, we are pretty much the same. Yeah, I don't know how to say that in English, but yeah,
Yes, we're
if
in
you
the
know what I mean.
yeah, we're relative to each other as far as the size of our channels.
Yeah,
Very true. And I see we got another OG Space Jew up in here. He's a funny guy. I like that
yeah,
guy. Um, my channel actually just grew because Roland Tomasi, the author of The Rational Male, I speak with him here and there. And I did a recent video, and he actually did a shout out to me on his channel in his community tab. And so I had people subscribe to me from that. So we were basically, I was sitting right at like 310 subscribers before that. So I gained, 20, maybe 15, 20 subscribers uh, today. So yeah, but basically you're right. Our channels are about the same size.
yeah. Pretty much the same with my channel. I think the half of my subscribers, like I got them because of people saw me on other people's channels. I think most people they are not really familiar with my videos. I think the most people know me because of the comments that I post on other videos and because of my collaborations. So yeah, I think
Yeah.
so. So when it comes to that, I think your channel and my channel are pretty much on the same level.
Yeah. Networking is always good. Like I said, Bleeding Edge Red Pill, guys. I'm a regular on there. I'm part of the main cast. So, and that's usually on Sundays, about 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. If you guys want to catch that, it's usually pretty interesting. Just FYI, um, little promotion there for Tico Trend. If you guys know
Yeah,
who Tico Trend is,
me myself, I did 5 live streams with Tico Chen. The last time I did a live stream was on my channel. The title is Ghost and Sadist Chapter 5. Everything must go in a clown world. That was a live stream of 5 hours, man.
damn.
5 hours, damn.
Yeah, I get tired. Like I have certain rules about my live streams personally. Like 2 hour stream is really starting to push it. I've gone to almost three, but like I start getting tired at about two, especially when I'm on camera. Uh, not it's not as bad like this where I have my camera off right now.
Yeah, but like at some certain moment, you don't know what to tell anymore. So yeah, normally at after 2 hours, it's pretty done. And yeah, enough is enough, man.
Yeah, well, it depends on the guest. Like I have a guest that he's a regular. I'm going to have him back on to talk about Buddhism eventually, but he can talk forever. Like I could probably go to sleep and he could continue talking, you know. But
Yeah, I know
yes,
what you mean.
usually it starts to, the conversation starts to die down, and it's time to go. Like, and you can feel that as a host. Uh, but yeah, man. So what you feel like talking about?
Yeah, actually, I want to ask you like, you are red pilled, but you do not consider yourself as MGTOW, right?
Correct.
Can you tell me something about that?
Sure, sure. You have a specific question, or you want me to talk about like my philosophy, or
Yeah, actually, from what is for you, what is the red pill? Like when it comes to me, like the red pill is not only about female nature. For me, the red pill are actually, yeah, a lot of red pills. What is the red pill for you?
okay. So the red pill for me, and as you said, I agree with what you said. There's lots of red pills. The red pill is the truth. So there's the red pill for politics. There's the red pill for intergender dynamics, which is what I mostly focus on, is, the relationship between men and women. And so the red pill for me in that respect is just the truth about female nature. And as I said in my own stream, all right, so the red pill is the truth, and you decide which direction you want to take. Once you have the truth and you've absorbed the red pill, see, I don't get into this like faction competition stuff, right? So we got guys that are probably in the chat who consider themselves MGTOW, right? But I don't see them as like an enemy, or I don't see them as lesser because they choose to take themselves out of the dating market. And I also appreciate the MGTOW guys who respect me and my choice to continue to date, because there are some people in the MGTOW sphere who are like, "Oh, you're still dating women, or you want to have a family, or whatever. Or you're a simp." And it's like, no, I'm not a simp. Just because I have these goals, or because I date, um, that doesn't mean I kowtow to women, or that I don't understand their nature. I understand it. In fact, I have a legal background. Um, I worked as a paralegal for a while, and I had to get education. And part of the education is, uh, in America, is learning about family law. And so a lot of the stuff that MGTOW talked about regarding family law parallels exactly what they were teaching in the family law class. So I get it. And the deck is stacked against you as a man, especially in court, or just society in general. We have a burden of performance, and we have to be responsible for fucking everything, with no authority. And it sucks. It's a bad position. That being said, I think that you know, I can work something out, possibly, or maybe not. I'm not going to put myself in a shitty position. I'm certainly not going to put myself in a position that I think I'll get divorce raped just because I'm fucking thirsty. That's not going to happen. I'm not thirsty either. So I could very well go MGTOW monk if I wanted to. I simply choose not to. And that's what I mean with the red pill. You have a choice. Some people take the red pill, and I'd argue they're almost more purple pill, but the guys who go and are MRAs, it's kind of a losing battle, if you ask me. But sometimes it's worth fighting.
Yeah, true. Yeah, me myself, I always say like, like a red pill is knowledge, but MGTOW is a lifestyle, and not every red pillar is a MGTOW, but also not every MGTOW is red pilled. And I think a lot of guys misunderstand that, because like the red pill in MGTOW, it doesn't always have to be the same.
Yeah, some people are MGTOW and they don't know anything about the red pill. They're MGTOW for a different reason, but I focus on the people who are actually red pill, and I see it as a choice which direction you want to go. Now that you have the truth, which direction do you want to take it? And so Yeah, and again, personal choice. So I don't think anything less of guys who didn't make the same choice as me. And I think that's a problem within the manosphere itself. Is that there's like a hatred, some, and I get where some of the MGTOW guys are coming from and their criticism of dating coaches, if you will. Uh, there's a bunch of guys out there who are just teaching bullshit. They're more the PUA types. They're still practicing the stuff that fucking Mystery had come up with like over 20 years ago, and they're still goofing around and messing around. Probably going to get themselves in trouble with that stuff. So I get where MGTOW's coming from when they talk about those types of guys, but I don't think there's anything wrong personally. Now, I may be just justifying my own decisions, but I don't think there's anything wrong with dating women as long as you know the risk. Uh, there's all kinds of activities people do knowing the risk, right? Some people jump out of a fucking plane for fun. Not That's not for me, but some
Yeah,
people
also
like to
not
do
for
it.
me, man.
I'm not. I like my feet firmly planted on the ground personally. That's why I didn't go. I had an offer for airborne on my Army contract, and I was like, nah, no thanks. Uh, but some people want to do that, and I don't think anything less of somebody who wants to go skydiving. Just it ain't for me. It's really that simple.
Yeah, but like the way how like me myself, I consider myself as red pilled, but also MGTOW. The way how I see MGTOW, I think MGTOW, you shouldn't see that as an escape, but as a choice. Like
Yes.
me as a like I am not gonna say that I never want a woman anymore. I am not gonna say that I never want to date a woman anymore. But when it comes to having children and yeah, getting married, like as a MGTOW, I am prepared of the fact that like I will die alone, you know. And
Mm.
if you make the choice to go MGTOW, you gotta ask yourself a question like, are you really prepared to live alone and yeah, also die alone? Because at the end of the day, going MGTOW, yeah, you gotta realize you die alone. And I that doesn't sound really positive, but actually that is how I describe myself as a MGTOW. I am ready to yeah die alone.
Absolutely. But I'm a maximum freedom kind of guy. So I like what you said there. You make the choice. And that's what I want to keep reiterating, that is a choice. And that means you can't force someone else to do it. Or, you know, most of the time, I've been friends with MGTOW a long time. Uh, for those of you who don't know me, I used to be a moderator for Turd Flinging Monkey, and he had the biggest MGTOW Discord server in existence until it got yeeted by. I'm not. I'm pretty sure I know who did it, but I don't have all the evidence. But it got yeeted at the end of the day. That's what happened. And I was never a MGTOW. I made it very clear that I wasn't a MGTOW. That I was just red pill, and we got along great. I made a lot of my friends from the red pill sphere are MGTOW guys.
Yeah. Actually, I wanna answer. Like Chris Mitchell says, I am a traitor to MGTOW. I'm told. Yeah, Chris Mitchell, I want to respond on that, man. Like you don't have to be MGTOW to like that. Like if you are not a MGTOW, that doesn't necessarily mean that you are not welcome into the manosphere. Like like I said, red pill is knowledge, but MGTOW is a lifestyle. If you are living together with a woman or with a child, yeah, yeah, it's kind of hard to call yourself MGTOW, I think.
Yeah, people forget the tenets of MGTOW, right? There used to
Yeah,
only be like three of them. It was don't marry, don't cohabitate, and don't have children. I think were the three main tenets of it.
yeah, and I can and yeah, I a couple of days ago I made a video called yeah, pump and dump is not MGTOW. I don't know if you agree with me or not, but I think like when it comes to MGTOW, I always say like, you know, MGTOW is what you make from it and not what other men make from it. And like there are not official rules within MGTOW, but I think there are definitely limits. Because if you're gonna say like, you know, uh if you have a relationship, you are also a MGTOW. If you are married, you are a MGTOW. If you are gay, you are a MGTOW. Like if you look at it that way, then you can say like every man on this planet is a MGTOW. But I
Right.
think that that's not how that works. So yeah, again, MGTOW is what you make from it, but I think there are definitely limits.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree with what you're saying. So like I said, the original tenets were those three things. As long as you didn't marry, have children, or cohabitate with a woman, you could be a MGTOW. Pump and dump. Well, you guys probably are aware of the early MGTOW guys. That's what they were doing, uh, pumping and dumping, and it sort of changed. I forget how other creators had talked about it, but it was almost like waves of feminism in a way. Uh, MGTOW 1.0 versus MGTOW 2.0 is, I think, how they were putting it. And the 2.0 was where they really started getting hardcore, where like everyone you had to be a monk. If you weren't a MGTOW monk, you weren't a MGTOW and whatever. But yeah, I'm all about personal choice. Yeah, as that guy said. And it's just I kind of got away from the MGTOW. Like I was paying a lot more attention to the MGTOW sphere just because, I have friends. I've always had friends that were MGTOW, but it's gotten really crazy. Like there are people fighting over like Turd Flinging Monkey and him having a sex doll, and they're saying, well, you have a doll that's shaped like a female, so therefore you're gynocentric. And it's like, this doesn't make any fucking sense. I mean, the way TFM puts it is it's a sex toy. You know, that's the way he looks at it. Now, he's kind of like messing around, giving it a persona or whatever, but he's not like that's something that DDJ Misandry today tried to use on him and saying that he thought his doll was real and all this bullshit, which isn't true. It's just a part of his show, really.
Yeah, about 1.5 years ago, I made a video called "Yeah, no sex dolls for me." Yeah, I said some things in that video. Yeah, maybe I went a little bit too far, but yeah, let me tell you this way: I am not with sex dolls. It's not for me. Let me tell you that way.
Yeah, exactly. It's not for you, but how do you feel about like other people doing it? Now, I'm the same way. I like if I was going to be a MGTOW, for instance, I probably wouldn't get a fucking sex doll. But I don't hate on or think less of the guys that do.
If I must be really honest, I think like if I try to imagine right now me with a sex doll, it's like having sex with a dead body. Like that is how I see it.
So
No
yeah,
offense,
it
but
creeps you
that
out,
is
is what
my
you're
idea.
saying, right? It kind of creeps you out.
Yeah, it gives me the creeps, man. Like
Yeah.
I wouldn't even touch that doll, you know.
So that's a concept that TFM was talking about. I haven't watched his stuff in forever, but he, something called the uncanny valley. So like there are things that um, has to do with the way your mind sees things, and if it's you guys are probably better off researching. Um, that's funny, Space Jew. You guys are better off researching like the uncanny valley, but that's a part of that, I think, and I get it. Like that wouldn't be for me either.
Yeah, because like for me, like I walked away from like right now I consider myself a monk right
Mhm.
now. And like I am not gonna say that I will always be a monk. I am not gonna say that I never want a woman. But right now, if I look at my situation, I walked away from women in every aspect. When it comes to dating, I also don't watch porn anymore. I also don't have a sex doll. Uh, do I talk with my female coworkers? Of course, because I gotta work with them. But like if I'm having a lunch break, I make the choice to not sitting next to them. Like being
Mm,
MGTOW, or and then especially a MGTOW monk, it is also a form of discipline. Uh, let me tell you
hmm
this way. Like let's say you are trying to quit drinking alcohol. Uh, you make a choice for yourself, like, I am not gonna drink alcohol anymore. But suddenly you see a sign with a beer, and then, like, I'm gonna drink again. uh, you quit drinking alcohol, but if somebody gives you that for free, you are like, I got it for free, so I'm just gonna drink it anyway.
hmm.
Yeah, I don't really know how to explain that, but like,
No, I you explained it
actually
quite well. I get
walking
what you're
away
saying.
from women and being a MGTOW monk, you need discipline. Is it easy? Definitely not. But yeah, it's a form of discipline, I think.
Yeah, it's discipline, and you're also keeping yourself away from temptation.
Yeah,
So yeah, I get exactly what you're saying. But sometimes the way some of these younger MGTOW guys put it, man, I mean, it's almost cartoonish to where they're like, well, if there's a female in your office, you need to turn and run away from her. I'm just being hyperbolic here, but they act like you have to just put up a barrier or a wall to keep them away from you. Damn near want you to put up a no girls allowed sign or something. It has unfortunately gotten cartoonish with some content creators. Is it important to understand the dangers of dealing with women? Absolutely. you know um, I agree with like the Pence rule for that. Make sure you have an open door, or other witnesses when you're dealing with them in the workplace, because these office jobs, if you have one of those, you're going to have a ton of women in there, and they love drama. They really do.
yeah, but like I think when it comes to walking away from women, like I think like there are also limits. I mean, like, it's like I am not gonna say, like, like when I say to you I walked away from women, when it comes to yeah, relationships, sex, yeah, romance, intimacy, like, like I still talk with my mother, I still talk with my grandmother. When I go to the grocery store, I think it wouldn't make sense, like if you say, like, I am not gonna go to that grocery store anymore because there is a woman behind the cash register. I think, like, when it comes to walking away from women, yeah, you also can get too far with that.
Yeah, that's where it gets cartoonish like
Yeah,
that.
yeah,
Yeah. So yeah, like some of these guys, like, you have a sister, you need to hate her now. Like, what?
yeah.
She's a
That
female.
yeah, that goes too far.
you
That
know.
goes too far.
Yeah, yeah. There are some guys who are that cartoonish, but a lot of guys are pretty well grounded, and I appreciate that.
And like I walked away from women, but that doesn't mean I always say, like, don't be a simp, don't be a white knight, but also do not treat women like shit if they did nothing wrong to you.
Right.
And I think
True.
a lot of guys are going too far with that, like, like me myself, like in general, I am a social person, yeah, with women but also with men, but yeah, with people in general. Like,
Yeah.
I'm gonna give you an example. If I walk to a street and I see that a woman gets raped, I am not gonna be a white knight because I don't know the situation, but I think at least I can call the police. You know what I
hmm
mean?
Yeah.
Because, like, I walked away from women, but that doesn't mean I enjoying the fact that a woman gets raped or beat up. If you are enjoying that, yeah, I think, yeah, you are sick in the brain and then you need help. So
Unfortunately,
when
some
it comes
do.
to walking away from women, yeah, I think there are also limits.
Yeah. unfortunately, some of them have that mentality. Do you remember the guy named Messenger Rising?
Yeah, Lazarus. Yeah,
He's known as Lazarus now. You're right.
he is one of my favorites, to be honest. But yeah,
Now, when I first got into this stuff and I got the TFM server, he was a totally Lazarus, or back then Messenger Rising, had a totally different attitude. In fact, most guys looked at him as some sort of extremist. Uh, and boy, he was angry. I'll say that. But I mean, people would make jokes about it. But um, as he transformed into Lazarus and his wisdom grew, he called that problem out. He said, "How are you guys any better if you're like taking this great pleasure? Like some of these guys will watch videos of women getting seriously hurt, or something, just gruesome happening to them, and these guys are taking pleasure in it. Like, okay, yes, society and the way women have power and all these other issues, they're a problem, but you're still you still are taking joy in a human being, basically suffering and sometimes dying, I guess. That's kind of sick, dude. Like, you need to check yourself. If
yeah.
that's
But
you, might have a problem.
I think I saw that video from. I think you mean the video. What have you become? I think you mean that
That
video.
that might be that video.
Yeah,
It's
yeah, yeah. I
it's one of
also,
the ones
yeah.
he put out as Lazarus,
Yes, yes.
and he hit the nail on the head, because I had seen that sometimes. Usually with the younger guys, uh, who are newer, like the red pill rage is a thing. And I get that. We all, probably most of us, have gone through red pill rage. Mine was very short, just because of my background. I had seen a lot of this stuff. So when, I got red pilled, it was like, oh, this makes sense. Like, now someone else saw this, and now they have scientific words or pseudo-scientific words for all these phenomena that I had noticed, you know, throughout my time. And it was a lot easier for me. But for some people, breaking away from their blue pill conditioning is still tough. And I actually have a theory that, red pill rage is still these guys wishing that their blue pill fantasies were the truth instead of the red pill. So, that's my theory on that. And you also have to think, if you're one of these red pill rage guys and you've been red pill raging for a long amount of time, there's a problem. Like, you shouldn't be red pill raging for that long. I could understand, a couple of months or something, but there were guys because I've been in that server for years. Uh, I think it was somewhere around 4 years, 5 years. I'm trying to think, but yeah, I mean, there were guys that just never let go of the red pill rage, and we're talking, I'd known them or known of them for years, and they never changed. Like, part of I guess the MGTOW philosophy is personal growth, right?
Yeah, but when it comes to the red pill race, like, yeah, me myself, I've never been married. Like, I've never been cheated on, or yeah, at least as far as I know. So when it comes to that red pill rage, like, I never really had that red pill rage. Like, I took the red pill and I became MGTOW. Actually, like, I was just sick and tired of the people around me, not only women, but yeah, just people in general. And like, when it comes to my content, like, I I almost never really talk about female nature.
Hmm.
I always talk about just human nature in general, because like, actually, if I say to you I walked away from women, that is not correct. No, I walked away from, yeah, people in general.
Hmm.
95% of the people in this world, I don't want nothing to do with them.
Ah.
When it comes to that red pill rage, yeah, I never really had that. Like, the only bad experience that I had with women is like, yeah, one time I had a date and yeah, she stood me up. That is
Hmm.
actually the worst thing that I had with women. But
Ah,
yeah,
and
if you
that's
know what
just
I mean.
annoying. That's not even like that bad. Yeah.
No, no.
So you had it pretty good because most people have to walk what I call it the path of pain, and that usually involves them, being seriously involved with a woman, whether that's married or like a long-term relationship that they thought was, going somewhere, and she usually betrays them, and that's usually the story for many people. But uh, those are the good stories, like your story, where you're just like, you know what, fuck this shit, I'm out. So that's a positive. I think that's a good story. And again, personal choice. I'm always going to go to personal choice for most things.
Yeah, because like when it comes to marriage, like let's say if I was not red pilled, like I just don't want to get married, and that is something personal of me. Like right now I know the risks and I know about female nature, but let's say I didn't know nothing about that and I didn't know nothing about female nature, then I still don't want to get married, but that is just my personality. So like actually like I was already MGTOW before I took the red pill.
Yeah, gotcha. I see what you're saying. That's cool. I'm glad you didn't have to walk the path of pain, and and that some people, you're not the first person who I've heard that from. There are others like yourself that are just, I guess, misanthropes might be a more appropriate term, but yeah, that's a good story. That's a positive story because when I was in a lot more closer to the MGTOW guys, there was a lot of older gentlemen who would just tell me about, you know, their divorce and how they missed their kids, and they were well spoken and everything, and they weren't angry, they were sad more so, really. And I can't, I don't have kids myself, so I can't really imagine, you know, basically not being allowed to see my children because some bitch got mad at me.
Yeah, but what is like what is your situation? Like you ever been married or do you have children or
Fortunately, fortunately, I've come close to getting married, but uh, dodged that bullet, and no children. Now, I don't know about marriage. I'm not against having kids or dating or anything like that for myself. um, but marriage, I mean, that's where you give up. Like if you were to have kids without being married, you're still giving up some of your power, some of your freedom. That's 100% true. But you know, it's solidified once you put that ring on their finger.
yeah, and like me, yeah, me myself, I've never been married, but when I look at my coworkers, like I always hear my coworkers saying stuff like, like I love my children, I'm happy with my children, but I never hear them saying like I love my wife or I love to be married. Like they love their children, but I have the feeling that they are not really happy with their wife, and because of the fact that they are married.
Yeah, I see that too. Well, that's I mean part of male nature. Let's be honest. We talk about female nature a lot, but sometimes we skip over male nature, and our nature um, is to bang as many as many hot chicks as we can and impregnate them. I mean, that's there's another thing that goes unappreciated about men is we fight that all the time. We are constantly in control of our sexual strategy. Whereas right now, it's glorified for women to live by theirs, the hypergamy, the alpha fucks beta bucks, dualistic strategy. That's promoted for women, whereas men were we're getting beaten down, and if a guy acts on his nature, it's the worst thing in the world.
Yeah, and I think yeah, when it comes to MGTOW, like I think let's say the rules and the laws would be different in the United States and the Western world. I think the majority of the MGTOWs, they are going back to the plantation.
Well, this is a
I think.
unfortunate truth about a lot of MGTOWs, and you would be surprised. I'm just going to tell you, you would be surprised at how simpy a lot of these. I don't want to burst anyone's bubble, but a lot of these guys who are like the big, like hardcore MGTOW content creators, not all, but a lot of them, you'd be surprised if someone who is a legitimate female gets in their DMs, how much of a simp they turn into. You would be surprised.
Yeah, but I think that that's also like when it comes to just yeah human nature in general. Like a lot of people, like they cannot be alone. Like I think the most people, they are like whatever it's women or men, just people in general. I think the most people, they are hanging around with each other not because they like each other, but just because of the fact that they cannot be alone. And I think
Hmm.
that's also an aspect of that, I think.
I think that's very true. And myself, I'm an introvert for the most part, and I very much value my alone time. So, like I said, I could very easily be MGTOW if I wanted to, and be perfectly happy, and MGTOW monk and all that stuff. It's a part of my personality, but it's just not what I want for myself. And count yourself lucky again in that aspect. If you're one of the types of guys that just you know is a introvert that likes their prefers their alone time, not just likes it but prefers it, you have it easy because most humans we're social creatures, and some people more than others, and they almost have to have it. Or like if you're an introvert like me, you almost can't imagine how someone who's an extrovert would even think, because think about it, them, like I get my energy being alone, spending time alone, and just being in my own little world for a time. That's how I recharge my batteries. But someone who's an extrovert, it's the opposite. They have to talk to somebody else in order to get energized. So when they're not getting that, they'll go crazy. Whereas you or I, we're fine, no problem.
Yeah, like I said at yeah, actually at the beginning of this stream, like when it comes to MGTOW, if you want to go MGTOW, you gotta ask yourself a question like, are you really prepared to live alone and die alone? Like I
Mm,
make that choice, I will probably die alone. But yeah, most guys, they are going MGTOW. Actually, they don't want to be alone. So yeah, what like for me, MGTOW is really a choice, but I think for a lot of men, it is also more an escape. And yeah, that is actually the wrong reason to go MGTOW. Yeah, that's just my opinion.
yes. Well, I agree with you quite a bit. A lot of them just see it as a form of rebellion, basically, or you could look at it as, for some people, it's a phase. It's been said before. It's a phase. Like, oh, now I'm in my, and I'm fully aware that most MGTOW don't hate women; they just understand them. But there are a lot of the red pill ragers who, it's bordering on hate, and so when I say the hate women phase, that's what I'm talking about. They don't necessarily hate them, but it's sort of like a rebelling or them putting their middle finger up, but they may change their mind. Still, others go into the wasteland, as TFM calls it. It's not on YouTube, but he's got a series called the Red Pill Grief Cycle on BitChute. You might want to look that up if you haven't seen it. And some guys, they were regulars on the server. They're red pilled. They were well spoken. They were calm. And just one day, they left and they never came back. Never heard from them ever again. they went into the wasteland.
Yeah, like another example of that is like, I hear a lot of guys saying like, I am MGTOW, but yeah, one day I am going to move to Thailand to find a woman, or I go to Ukraine to find like, and that is the part that I don't understand. I am like, okay, so you are MGTOW in your own country, but in another country, yeah, you don't want to be MGTOW because like the grass is not greener on the other side. Like I'm gonna give you an example. When you go to Thailand, like I've been in Thailand 6 times, you don't know the culture, you don't speak the language. I There are a lot of guys, especially in Pattaya. There are hundreds of men in Pattaya. They became homeless, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, I mean,
You know what I
Thailand is
mean? I mean,
probably
like,
what.
like if you move to another country where you do not
Yeah,
speak the language, like your wife or your girlfriend, like you are like, yeah, she has to take care of you, and that is the mistake that a lot of men make when they are traveling overseas for a woman. They only go there for a woman. They don't speak the language. They don't know the culture. So yeah, they like it's actually you take more risk in another country than in your own country.
yeah. I mean, all I can say about that is Thailand probably wouldn't be my first choice. I've heard some interesting stories about that. Now, could have been bullshit stories, but still, like it was funny when it was told to me. But I won't get into that on a live stream. But yeah, if you want to go to another country and have children, I mean, you don't sound like you have mid-tal goals. Then you sound you sound like you're just a regular red pillar, and there's nothing wrong with that. I'm just saying that's you know no children, no marriage, no cohabitation. It's really other than that, bang, you can do whatever you want. Go your own way, if you will.
Yeah, but actually, another subject. Like I saw you on Reference 20 piece stream about veterans. I think
Hmm.
you are only a couple of years older than me. I think I'm almost 32.
Oh
But
yeah, I'm 38, fixing to
yeah,
turn
but
39
you yeah,
soon.
you served the like you
Yeah,
are a veteran, right?
I was in the U.S. Army. Did 4.5 years in, and the half a year was because I was stop loss because I was deployed. Uh, guys that guys that were in the Army know what I mean when I say stop loss. They actually made a movie entitled that too, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, so 4.5 years in, 2 years which were spent in the Middle East, Iraq. Got to go to a couple of other countries, obviously Kuwait and a country called Qatar, and that's spelled Qatar. It's seems like it would be pronounced Qatar, but it's actually Qatar. Um, yeah, it was interesting. Would I do it again if I could jump in a time machine? Maybe, but with a different military occupational specialty. Uh, it was a good experience in some ways, and a crazy experience in others. But it made me who I am today, so I don't have any regrets about it. But it was definitely an interesting experience.
And like here in the Netherlands, like Dutch people are not so nationalistic like American people. Like American people in general, like you are really proud of your country. In the Netherlands, that's a little bit different. But like when it comes to the military, like the Netherlands, like let's say our military is about 35,000,
Hmm.
including our reserves. So actually, you can say we don't have a military. like the Netherlands, when it comes to military, we are actually one of the weakest countries in this world, and a reason for that is like the Americans, they freed us after the Second World War, right?
Hmm.
And a lot of Dutch people, they have the delusion, like, if the shit goes down in the Netherlands, America is gonna save our ass. But there comes a time that America is not gonna save us, and it's over with us. So like a lot of the majority of the Dutch people, they are not nationalists and they don't give a fuck about their own country. But yeah, when I look like me myself, I would not make the choice to join the Dutch military, because like 9 out of 10 times you do not fight for your own country.
Yeah, I would agree with that. In America these days too, uh, there's a lot of problems. Like our military is with Obama, and then you know the guy we got in right now just been wearing our military out. Now you go in, you're going to deal with like trannies and women, and you know guys who are openly gay and have no problem expressing it. When I was in, we had a system called "Don't Ask, Don't Tell," and there were guys that you knew were flamers, but that didn't affect their work, and you just knew it, and didn't say nothing about it, and everybody carried on. And what they did in their free time was whatever. As long as they don't try to do that shit with me, it's whatever. Although we had an incident when one of my guys had to punch one of them in the face one time, but that's neither here nor there. For the most part, it wasn't an issue because nobody asked or told. Now it's like openly flaunted. I saw an article where they had American GIs wearing high heels, so they're like, now you know what it feels like to be a woman. Like, what the? I'm trying to stay clean for your stream, but yeah, I was like infuriated. Like, what does this have to do with defeating an enemy? Uh, I don't understand, because the military was a lot. Remember, it's been almost. I joined. Yeah, I joined in 2001. So I joined 20 years ago, and it's a totally different animal than when I was in. So unless you just want to if you're an American and you're a young American, you're 18, you're early 20s or something, unless you just want to try to get some of that post 9/11 GI Bill, no, no, don't join. It's not going to be a good time.
Yeah, like right now we are living in crazy times, man. I mean, like, like we always prepare ourselves for war, hunger, but when it comes to that COVID-19, we were not prepared for this. I mean, I don't really know the situation in the United States, but here in the Netherlands, like people had more than enough of it. The people that are got vaccinated, or the people that did not got vaccinated, people have more than enough of this situation. And like the government, like they are not stupid. Like
Yeah,
in the Netherlands, also the government, like they are shitting themselves right now, because people have had it and people don't care about rules anymore. And
yeah.
yeah,
I
how is
saw
that in the
some.
United States?
I saw some stuff about that in the Netherlands, and I thought, like, man, that's crazy as hell. Because in the pictures, it was dudes that had, you know, M16s or whatever, pinning Dutch guys down and stuff because you guys are sick of it over there. Um, Basically, over here, it depends on where you're at. So I live in a red state, which is a very conservative state, and they didn't go crazy. Everything was it was never a problem. Like they were asked to lock down for like 2 weeks, and they did, and then once that was over, it was like almost not entirely back to normal, but it wasn't like crazy. Like there was no mask, there was never a mask mandate, or they didn't force you to take the vax. I'm not vaccinated. Fuck that shit. I don't want I don't want genetic therapy. Thank you very much.
Yeah,
Unless you,
yeah, me myself, I'm also not vaccinated, but yeah, to be really honest, it's getting more difficult for me. Like 2 months ago, I had some Christmas party at work, and yeah, the people that did not got vaccinated, they were not welcome. I am working at this company for fucking 11 years now, and I am not welcome at the like me myself, I'm not celebrating Christmas, but yeah, that's not what it's about.
yeah,
I work here for 11 years and I am not welcome because I am not vaccinated. So yeah, it's getting more and more difficult, yeah, for us. And like I really want to go travel because like yeah, I want to go to Philadelphia, but yeah, I am not gonna take that fucking vaccine. But yeah, I really want to go to travel, man. But yeah, I am not gonna do it. So like this is the moment that yeah, you gotta be really strong. But yeah,
yep,
for how long, you know?
forever,
Yeah,
forever. These people are the test subjects are running the experiment. It's like the Slipknot song. These people are fucking crazy and they're religious, basically. Um, they're it's like a religion. It seriously is. The science, and I use that in quotes, is every bit as religious as the Catholic Church at this point. And it doesn't matter how many there are so many articles right now that you can reference about like how effective masks are in this situation because they did tests for years and years, going back 20 plus years of them testing this. And all those experiments ended in okay, masks basically don't work at all for this use. And you can throw these studies at these people. You can compile like every study from 2000 to 2019, and they wouldn't listen to you because fucking here, if Dr. Fauci says something, then it's like the word of God to them. And so, some people are smart enough to recognize it, at least half the country, and the other half are just, anything Fauci says is the truth, and they completely ignore all of his ties to big pharma and all the other stuff he did, like with the AIDS virus, all the crooked shit he's done. People just don't even care. Oh yeah, like Space Juice says, masks are effective. They kill you. Yeah. Um, who would have thought you breathing in your own germs, breathing them back in? Who would have thought, man, that would get you sick? That's just the craziest thing I've ever heard.
but yeah, when it comes to really, are you religious yourself or not?
Yeah, but I don't usually talk about it because you know it's a personal thing. And again, it's one of those personal things, and some people, again, they'll try to act, because believe it or not, some people are religiously atheist, and so they'll try to shit on you for that. So, and also, I do understand that religious people can be obnoxious in the same way, you
Yeah.
know. So I
Yeah, me
understand
myself,
that.
I am also religious, but I also like I never talk about it unless somebody asks me about it.
Exactly. Because so if you hadn't asked me, I would have never mentioned it.
Yeah.
Same here. Yeah. So I definitely understand where you're coming from there.
But do you? Yeah, you don't have to tell me. But yeah, what religion?
Well, I was always raised as a Baptist. Now I'm
Okay.
not talking about Southern Baptist or any of that crazy shit where people would pick up poisonous snakes and speak in tongues and faint and fall on the ground and shit like that. No, it was just your basic run of the mill Protestant Christianity. Uh, I would say non-denominational. if anything, but more Baptist, if that makes any sense at all.
Yeah, yeah, makes
You
makes
know,
makes total sense. Yeah, yeah.
but I was raised that like that, and my ancestors were always like that, and I've had some experiences that have shown me there's something more. I don't really believe in coincidences, so yeah. So I have my reasons. I can see sometimes where the atheists are coming from. Some people have that type of personality, and again, I have friends who are atheists, and we get along just great. But I guess I'm just used to toxic people because people in the manosphere can sometimes be very black and white, which is good and bad sometimes, depending on the situation. But yeah, you know, I'm almost used to being cautious because if you say something, then there's always going to be that person. It's this guy's an idiot. Get him out of here. Throw tomatoes. Pick up the tomatoes from MGTOW Dictionary's tomato garden and throw them at you. You know.
Yeah. Yeah, coming when it comes to MGTOW dictionary, like he's black pill. Like he always talks about looks and height and that type of shit.
Oh, you want to
Like
get into that stuff?
I do not agree with everything that he says, but when it comes to looks and heights, I think he has a point.
I've always said, now, don't get me wrong. I've always said there's stuff that the black pill guys talk about that's accurate, but the way they go about it is wrong. So, okay, if you let's say you take me, you take Danny DeVito with no money, and you put us in a room. Those like lineup rooms where like criminals, like the victims, can point out who it was. You know what I'm saying? So like you put me, Chris Hemsworth, and Danny DeVito in the room, and you get a bunch of women in there and say, "Hey, which of these guys do you prefer?" And they all have the same socioeconomic status. Just for the record, who do you think's the women are gonna go for?
Yeah,
There's some truth to that, right? Or being taller is an advantage. Uh, Having a more aesthetic face with a more sculpted jaw an advantage. Where we have the problem is that their catchphrase, it's over, bro, and shit. And if you don't have these things, it's over, and that's simply not the case.
yeah,
Because
true. But I also on one of my coworkers, yeah, he is an incel.
Mhm.
Like uh, and that is actually why I criticize dating coaches and PUAs. Like they always say, you gotta have confidence, you gotta do this and that. But like I also understand, like if you've never been with a woman, then you will never get that confidence.
Yeah, a lot of confidence is derived from experience or doing something before, but not necessarily, not always. Um, but I do agree that a lot of these guys' problem is their belief in themselves. Everybody's got to start somewhere,
Yeah,
right? I do understand. Okay, the good-looking guys have always had that head start, right? Think about when you're in high school or whatever it is over there where you're at, the parallel to it, and you always had those guys that all the girls wanted, right? Because they're better looking. So those guys have probably always had that advantage. I take it from me. I'm a regular looking guy. I don't hide what I look like. And when I was in school, I had one of my best friends was like the good looking guy that all the girls always wanted. So it's something that I observed from early on. So I understand this concept because I've seen it. But but if what they're talking about, like if it's just impossible if you're not good looking, if you're not this, 6'2" and this and that, if that were true, I'd be a virgin, but I'm not.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Um,
I know
you know what I'm
exactly
saying?
what you mean. I mean,
But
like like there are exceptions, and it doesn't always have to be like that stereotype. There are exceptions, you know.
Well, yes, and the halo theory is accurate. I agree with the halo theory. I mean, there's always being a better looking person is always an advantage. It doesn't mean though that just because you know you're not Chris Hemsworth or one of these Hollywood actors that it's over for you as well. So you know I disagree, and my main problem, honestly, with the black pill guys is they give up. Like I've seen some of them get on camera, and some of them they get on camera, and those black pill streams aren't any worse looking than I am, but yet they're on the stream talking about how they're virgins or you can't get a woman to touch their pee pee. And it's like you got to put in the effort, and part of the effort is how you feel about yourself.
Yeah, but like some of them, they always say like, you know, a game is manipulation, but like women, they do pretty much the same, but
They
at a
always
different way.
ignore
So
that. Yes.
like even though game is manipulation, yeah, like I don't see a problem with that.
Yeah. Yeah, women manipulate men all the time. Why do you think we're all in the red pill
Yeah,
sphere? Most of us are in the red pill sphere. What do you think brought us here?
yeah, exactly. Yeah, yeah,
It's as I actually believe this is going to hurt some of your audience's feelings, but a lot of not all, obviously, but a lot of black pill guys are really just blue pill. Their black pill is just a deep dark blue. Um, because it doesn't because it when you take the red pill you have certain understandings, and I get, okay, I'm not good looking, I get that, and I like I said before, I get that, the halo effect and how women will treat the better looking guy better naturally. I get that, and I agree with some of the concepts, but these guys are so wild, man. They're one of I would actually go by my real name if it wasn't for these black pill guys. Now, I'm not sure if you know this, Garuda, but some of these guys are so crazy about their ideology, which is why I say that they're almost religious, that they'll go after people's family members. Like they get their real name and they go after their family members that have nothing to do with any of this, simply because they philosophically disagree with the person, with the content creator.
yeah, but I think these guys like they don't have a problem with women. They have a problem with people in general, I think.
Yeah, yeah. That's why I say some of these guys have legitimate mental illnesses as well, and that also will prevent you guys. That will also prevent you from getting women. Like if you're doing all this weird stuff, like we all know that women will say, "Oh, this guy's a creep," because he's not. You know, one of the reasons they call a guy a creep is because he doesn't meet her look standards, but also your behavior can turn you into a creep.
Yeah, exactly. Because like they always talk about, like, let's say Chad and Tyrone. Like first of all, Chad and Tyrone is actually nothing more than just a good looking guy. But if Chad or Tyrone can also fuck it up because of their behavior, you know?
Oh yeah, they never heard my story about. So one of my army buddies, he's taller than me, he's better looking than me, and we went out one time. I actually stole a girl from him. Believe it or not. All right, I'm
Okay.
5'9.5". He's over 6 foot. He's got a better looking face than I do. He kind of looks like to describe him, like what his face looks like. You remember the actor that played Clark Kent in Smallville? Something
Yeah,
it
yeah,
might
yeah.
be too old. He actually looks like that guy.
Okay.
He had the hairstyle like that guy too. I think it was on purpose, but he resembles that guy in the face. Right? You've seen what I look like. The problem was he was his behavior. That's why he lost the girl to me, because of his behavior. He was being simpy.
Yeah.
And I watched some of this stuff in real time because we would go out, have a few drinks, and talk to some girls. And this one girl he was hitting on. Everything was great. I was talking to her, he was talking to her, and we're having a good conversation. He says something like super simpy. She ignores him for the rest of the time and just starts talking to me. Right. So the two different examples of me knowing game doing better than a guy who's better looking than me.
Yeah, but like you also gotta understand, like like even if a woman likes you, like it is not really in female nature to approach a man.
Right.
And when it comes to those black parents, they always say, like, if a woman do not approach you, then she doesn't like you. But that's not true. Like in general, it is not in female nature to approach a man,
Correct.
because let's say you are a good looking guy. Okay, that makes it easy for you. Let's say a woman approach you. If you fuck it up, then she doesn't gonna sleep with you. So that you get approached by women, that doesn't necessarily mean that you also get the pussy. I mean, like, what is better, getting approached by a woman and not get her pussy, or you approach her and you do get the pussy? I mean, what is better? You get my point, right?
Yes, I absolutely get your point. Well, the woman approaching the guy in real life is so fucking rare. I've seen it happen. Don't get me wrong. I've actually seen it happen, but it's very rare. And usually those are the ones you really want to avoid. Uh, Mostly that shit is just something from a movie. You watch those like action films where the hero of the story walks into a bar and orders a drink, and all of a sudden this good looking woman just comes up to him and starts talking to him. That doesn't fucking happen. That's the movies, dude.
Yeah, but like, do how I think. Let's say if a woman approaches me, for me that is nothing more than a delusion, and I'm gonna tell you why. If a woman approaches me, I'm not like, oh, she likes me. No, I ask myself, what does she want from me?
Yeah, that's kind of a
Yeah, that's how
yeah.
I see it.
I mean, that's true. I mean, and that's realistic. Well, it's also kind of how an introvert thinks too. But yes, I definitely 100% agree with you. I'd be like, what is, especially when you're like an average, like when you're average looking guy like myself, and that's to happen. Like, what does she want from me? Now, if like some creators are dating roaches or whatever you want to call them will talk about choosing signals, which is what actually happens. So not only are the good looking guys, there's a couple of things about the Chads and the Tyrones that they miss, that they don't understand. Right. So these guys get choosing signals. They're also, even though they can't articulate it, they've learned to recognize it. And they also have like this hunter, like, I want it, so I'm going to go for it kind of mentality as well. So all those factors together is why they get the girl. We have a saying, in marksmanship, you always miss the shot you don't take. Um, but again, yeah, they're more likely to get a choosing signal than your average man too. So I
Yeah,
mean,
because you gotta try it, because especially like you have nothing to lose. Like in the Netherlands, we have a saying, and we always say, like, you have a no, but you can get a yes.
yeah, that's true. That's true. And here's the thing, also, like, can kind of getting back to what you were talking about, the whole living alone. It seems like some of these black pill guys can't. They have that problem, if that makes sense, or they feel like they need a woman. Like, I don't need a woman, believe it or not. As I said, I could go MGTOW monk and still be happy. It's just something I want, really. But these guys, what drives them crazy is they feel this need for female attention. And not only that, but like they do the 8 hour live streams, and there's something going on chemically as well in their brains, where it's an addiction. They get on there. Well, you know what else is really funny while I'm on that topic, but so they get on there and they complain about, Chad and Tyrone or whoever, and actually most of the time anymore, when I would peek in on what they were doing or look at some of their old live streams, they basically sit there and cry about Rollo Tomasi and modern life dating. They spend mostly like 8 hours just talking shit about these guys and the so-called dating roaches, and it was like, Jesus, like you guys have nothing to do for 8 hours on a Saturday night.
Yeah, but if I must be really honest, I think those live streams, I am like, for me it's entertainment, because like the most like I've also been in those streams, I think 2 times, but the most crazy guys enter this stream. So like, to be really honest, those streams for me is entertainment. If I must be really honest.
Well, yeah, Space Jew used to, who's been in this chat, he used to come in and troll the fuck out of them guys. He used to troll everybody. I think he used to come after, he came after Modern Life Dating himself at one point. Yeah, JC, man, good to see you, brother. Yeah, he's just a troll, and I think he's entertaining. Like, I don't know. One of the things I talked about in the kind of shifting gears just a little bit here, but one of the things I was talking about in the stream I did with Reverend 20 Piece and some legends. Terrence Pop was on that stream. I was like,
Yeah, I
holy
saw that
fuck!
stream. Yeah.
Like, I'm a Terrence Pop fan. But yeah, he trolls from the heart, he says. But there's some legends on that stream, and you gotta have fun with life, man. Instead of getting angry about everything, you gotta have fun, and you know. And we were specifically talking about PTSD, but I mean, we would laugh. One of the things we did to, not lose our shit was to laugh about stuff. And sometimes, yeah, I laugh about stuff that's kind of inappropriate. And it's not that I think it's funny as much as it's a coping. It's like a coping mechanism, I guess. It's something we came up with just to laugh at fucked up shit. But still, it's better than getting upset or getting angry or, doing something that you'll regret, because there's a great Marcus Aurelius quote that says something like, how much worse are the consequences of anger than the causes of it. And of course, I'm paraphrasing, but you get what I'm saying, I hope.
Yeah, and like what you say, like like you also gotta have fun in life, and like like
Gotcha.
as a red pillar, you are always seeking for answers. As a MGTOW, you are always trying to develop yourself, but sometimes it's also good to not seeking for answers and not develop yourself. Sometimes it's also good for you to just sit on the couch, eat a bag of potato chips, watch TV, play a video game. I mean, like at some certain moment, you are so busy with seeking for answers and doing the good thing that you forgot about one thing, and that is just, yeah, be happy and enjoy life. So, yeah, I totally get your point, man.
Yeah, that's what I promote for everybody. I would like to see everybody doing good. I think that's part of the problem in the world, aside from the crazy, left wing insanity, um, is that people aren't enjoying life enough. You keep in mind, well, with all this stuff, you have limited time on this earth. Would you rather spend your time being miserable, or would you rather spend your time enjoying life? That's the question you have to ask yourself. Do you want to be perpetually miserable? I mean, for certain. Again, I say this, not all black pill guys are like this, but there's a certain population of them that are, and they seem to enjoy the misery. It's not
Yeah,
good
but
for you.
yeah, yeah, for them that is the truth because
Yeah.
they always say like the black pill is the truth. Yeah, not for me, but yeah, for them it is.
Well, like I said before, a lot of them have potential. I've seen the guys that would come on cam and say basically act like they're complete incels have a lot of potential. They're not bad looking guys. you know.
Yeah. But anyway, do you have another topic that you want to talk about?
Uh, hmm. Let me think. I usually do, but it's like when I'm asked, I just draw a blank. I've almost always got something to talk about. Uh, all right. So, how have you seen much of my content there, Garuda?
Actually, not. I saw one of your first videos that was about not MGTOW but GIGTOW or yeah something like I don't remember
Okay,
the
the
title. But
difference, the one you're referencing, and that I get a lot of hate for that one because
okay,
guys don't understand it. So, the difference between a MGTOW and a SPURGTOW.
yeah. I mean, yeah,
Okay,
that video. Yeah, yeah.
there's a difference. There is a difference, and that's what I'm talking about in that video. And I'm talking in that video about stuff we just talked about during this live stream, and and that's it. Some guys are just they're hateful rather than just acknowledge the truth. Say, this is the path I want to go. They're hateful, and they go out of their way. They go out of their way to attack women, and they do it in a spurgy way. So, are you? And I ask, are you really red pill? If that's the way you want to do it. See, I don't. I'm red pill, and I have my distrust of the females, but I don't go out of my way to fuck with them. What's the point? What do you actually accomplish? What is going on to one of their videos or something and talking about how much of a thought they are? What does that actually accomplish?
Actually, not much or nothing at all. And like the red pill is knowing the reality, but also accept the reality. Like
Exactly.
you cannot change the reality because of your red pill knowledge, and that is a
Yeah.
mistake that a lot of guys make. Like it doesn't matter how much knowledge you have, you cannot change nothing about it. The only thing that you can do is accept it and move on.
Right. Exactly. And God, I keep losing my train of thought. What was I going to say? Oh yeah, and you're not going to accomplish anything. Like think about these Spurgs really came into being when I was in the TFM server. Going back to that again. Uh, so remember how I mentioned there was older guys that were talking about their divorce, and they're very articulate and very easygoing, very easy to talk to, and it was cathartic. Everybody would talk about their bad experiences and try to support the other guys. Well, there was a point in time, and I want to say it was maybe in 2018 or maybe late 2017, but there was an incel, what I call an incel invasion into the MGTOW space. And some people say that the reason for that was because the feminists were throwing MGTOW and incels into the same bucket, so that the incels were like, oh well, we must be a MGTOW, so now we'll join this. Whatever the case was, they showed up and they were just spurgy as hell, man. I swear they had to have been. And there's nothing wrong. I know I have friends that have autism and stuff like that, but I mean these young guys that were just spurgy, and it was a problem from a moderation end too, because it's like we had to ban people because they were just too out of control, man. I'm actually surprised that server lasted as long as it did, to be quite honest with you. Uh, but yeah, most of my content though that you probably haven't seen is based around. I know you saw that I did interviews with people, some of the same people
Yeah.
Um, you might have seen the interview that Jack Wire did with me, but I also had him on my channel as well once. But a lot of my stuff is about grifters. For any of you guys who don't know me, I do go after grifters in the manosphere, but some of them are actually good dudes. A lot of black pill guys hate some of the guys that I'm cool with. But keep in mind, I'm cool with these guys. I'm not a sycophant. You know, there's a difference. There's a difference between like respecting someone and having like hero worship, if that makes sense. Like,
Yeah,
and
it
that's,
makes sense. But I think the things that you do on your channel, like yeah, somebody's gotta do it, man.
I appreciate that. Um, but yeah, my particular guys that I go after are some of the guys I've mentioned. Uh, DDJ, Misinjury Today, whatever he calls himself. Uh, I got practically his whole story on my channel. I'm going to do I got something in the works that'll just kind of consolidate everything. So,
Okay.
but there's a lot of stuff about that guy that people don't know. I mean, he fucked up. He he fucked up by uh by getting on my nerves. Let's just say that, because I'm very good at finding things, and so I know a lot about that motherfucker. And plus, I had, admittedly, I have friends. One of my friends was letting DDJ live on their property while he was pretending that he was this wealthy, like, well-to-do, had his shit together type of shit
Yeah,
on
because like
live streams.
he works at a grocery store,
He
right?
was he wasn't even working at a grocery store. He was jobless at that time. He
Because
worked,
like the way the like I remember the way how he speaks, you probably think that he is a lawyer or something. The way how he
yes,
speaks,
yes.
but yeah, apparently that was not true.
No, he's not a lawyer. I keep having to tell people think he's a lawyer, and that's why I think people are scared of him. Like they think he's a lawyer and he's going to sue them. Like, no, dude. Yes, but I know the video you're referencing. He was a grocery manager at that time, and that was from 2014. That's the one that I keep perpetually on my um, on my page as the intro video. Uh, infinitely, I will never change it. That's why I did an intro stream earlier before we did this. But he's one of my favorite punching bags. But I'm punching him with the truth. Like I'm basically holding up a mirror to him, because he's, guys. There are people out there that I guess are sociopathic or narcissistic, like have narcissistic personality disorder, and so they create this fake reality. They're what is Rollo Tomasi calls it a pathological personality, and so while he was in this red pill space, he created this fake image. He wanted you all as consumers of content to think that he was. No, he wanted you to think that he was this like in shape, good looking martial artist that had his shit together, had all this money, just had everything. And the truth of the matter was he was a jobless, obese fucking slob. He never even paid rent. And my friend kicks themselves for allowing that for as long as they did.
Yeah,
All right.
but
He doesn't know
that's
fucking
like
martial arts. He's not an attorney. Could go in. He's not a ladies' man. He fucking simps. It's
yeah, because like
pathetic.
then this is how I think about it. Like if you are so ultra successful, then why do you have to say that? I mean, just as,
Yeah.
if that is really true, just keep it for yourself. Same with like most people that I know, they always talk about money because they don't have no money, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, yeah. This is true. The people who are really successful don't have to always blab about how they're successful. There's a lot of truth to that. But I mean, you think about like he talks about how he is a martial artist and all this. This motherfucker has what did he say? Modern Life Dating put it best. He's got a black belt and hamburger helper is what he said. You don't know no fucking martial arts, man. I almost met the guy in person. Like we know we had mutual in real life friends, if you will. So these people knew him in person.
Yeah, but like you always gotta be careful what you are saying because there come one sooner or later there comes somebody in your life that is gonna test you out. You know, like I
Yes,
like me myself. I did kickboxing for about 4 years. I am not gonna say that I'm a good fighter, but I can say to you like I know how to defend myself. You know,
right.
that is the way how I would describe it. You know.
I just say I'm capable. Now, you put me in the octagon with John Fitch, I'm getting my ass kicked. Okay, but I mean, just fucking being real. Like, but I'm capable as well. Uh,
Yeah.
I have no illusions that I'm some kind of, badass or anything like that. I'm just capable. Let's just say I'm capable. But that guy, boy, the timing was way off though. Unfortunately, like if all this stuff had come out when the red pill coin scam thing was going on, it would have turned out a lot better. Uh, but like I said, he's uh, like I said on my stream, he's disappeared because he's got fuck you money because his daddy died. So he inherited money. He didn't. He was on a live stream with my other new favorite punching bag, 21 Studios, aka the president of the Manosphere, Red Man Group, whatever. But he was on a live stream saying that he was stacking cash. Fucking another blatant lie. He inherited a bunch of money. Now he's got his fuck you money. Now he's gone. That's why you don't see him making content no more. Because it was never about I care about men and all this shit that come out of his mouth and other guys' mouth. It's all about them making money.
Yeah, I fucking hate that, you know. Like I have nothing against people that have a PayPal link or whatever, but like let's say if you're gonna say like you know you must donate if you really care about this community, yeah,
Right.
for me you are a worthless sack of shit for me. For me, you are a loser, you know.
Yeah. Like I don't have.
We have somebody right now in the manosphere. People are talking about that, but I
Yeah.
fucking hate grifters, you know. Like all the
Yes.
information that I got is for free, and I want to do that same thing, yeah, for free, you know.
I understand wanting to make some money for your time and effort, but my biggest thing when it comes to the grifters is are they who they say they are?
Yeah,
And a lot of them, especially the ones that I cover, are not, or they're like mentally ill and they're acting like they're the saviors of humanity. You know, Mister, I put on a red hat and talk and get people pay thousands of dollars to come to this convention where a bunch of trad cons get on stage and tell them how to be better men. And that's all that really is. The 21 convention. I don't hide. I don't have to hide that shit. I don't hide my face. You know exactly who I'm talking about, and they know I'm talking about them. But see, they'll make little snide references to like me that you wouldn't even know it was me they were talking about because they're cowards.
yeah.
But
I don't know if you know, but yeah, Howard Dare is back. You know Howard Dare?
yeah, I know a lot about that fool. I heard
Yeah,
he accidentally doxed himself
yeah.
way back in the day.
I
Yeah,
have my doubts
and
about
that
him, you know.
and that
Yeah,
he was married.
and I say it in a really friendly way.
I heard he was married too. He was like one of those guys that was a married man that was, you know, telling everybody to go MGTOW and don't marry and all that stuff. So I know one of the guys that like found that shit.
Yeah, but like I said, you know, like like if some like I have no problem when people say like I have a PayPal link. Feel free to donate. You don't have to, but feel free. I do have a problem with you if you are gonna say like you must donate if you really care about this community. Hey, go fuck yourself, man. Who the fuck do you think
Exactly.
you are, man?
Yeah, we're not dark side Phils, who sounds like you're
Yeah,
talking about there. So yeah, I mean, freaking out because if you don't, pay their Patreon, that they won't be able to pay their rent and shit. Like, man, try getting a real job, bro. Like,
yeah.
if you're that concerned about it.
But yeah. Anyway, yeah. For me, it's almost 5 o'clock in the morning. I'm starting to get tired.
Yeah, I can tell,
You
man.
you want to say something real quick or whatever or
Yeah, I'll do a little closeout. First of all you guys that have been watching or will watch the replay of this, thank you for your viewership. If you want to find me, Infamous Rifle, uh, same emblem as you see here, and I'd be happy to have your viewership if you want to watch me. But don't forget to keep watching Garuda Ghost, your host.
yeah.
And again, thank you guys for your time and attention.
Yeah, anyway, Infamous Rival, I really want to thank you for your time. This was really spontaneous, because
It
like
was.
we never even talked to each other. But I was like, let's do a collaboration right now, So yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, thanks for your time, and yeah, thanks, man.
Yeah. Thanks for having me, man.
Yeah, man. So yeah, you got my email. Always feel free to email me. Maybe I'm coming
Yeah.
to do a live stream, maybe on
Yeah.
your channel,
I'll
maybe or.
return the favor. I'll have you on my channel at
And
some point.
yeah, I saw you on Reverend 20 Pieces channel, Antico Trends channel. So
Hmm.
I think there is a big chance that we yeah ran up to it, that we meet each other by coincidence.
Yeah, definitely, bro.
Yeah, man. But yeah, thanks, man. Hey guys, forever red until dead. And I am ghosting out now, guys. Peace. Infamous Rifle, thank you, man.
Thank you. Peace.